South Florida. A name that once meant freedom, sunshine, and a better life. A place where the palm trees sway, the beaches sparkle, and the world feels like a never-ending vacation. For decades, people from all across America, and even around the world, packed their lives into moving trucks, headed south, and said, "I'm going to Florida." It was the dream. No state income tax. Beautiful weather all year. And that feeling of escape, from the cold, from the chaos, from everything else. But now, something's changed. People aren't just arriving anymore. They're leaving. They're selling homes they once thought they'd retire in. They're walking away from the sunshine dream, and heading for new beginnings somewhere else. And behind that decision is a storm, one that's shaking South Florida to its core. Skyrocketing insurance costs. A collapsing condo market. Climate pressures. And a government caught between safety and survival. Today, we're uncovering why South Florida's housing market is crumbling, why the governor is furious, and why the paradise millions chased for decades might be losing its shine. Let's start with the biggest question of all: why are people leaving South Florida? Because just a few years ago, this place was on fire, in a good way. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, booming economies, a wave of new residents, real estate prices soaring. Everyone wanted a piece of the sunshine. But in just a few short years, the story has flipped. And the first reason is simple: it's getting too expensive to live here. The cost of living in South Florida has exploded. We're not just talking about luxury condos or beachfront mansions, we're talking about everyday life. Groceries cost more. Electricity costs more. Gas, transportation, restaurants, everything. But the biggest hit comes from housing. Whether you rent or own, the price of a roof over your head is reaching new heights. Rents in Miami have jumped by as much as 50% in some areas since 2020. And home prices, even after the recent slowdown, are still out of reach for the average worker. A two-bedroom apartment that once rented for $1,500 is now closer to $2,800. And wages? They haven't doubled. That imbalance is pushing people out. Nurses, teachers, hospitality workers, the very people who keep South Florida running, can't afford to stay. And then comes the insurance nightmare. Florida's property insurance rates are now the highest in the nation. Some homeowners have seen their premiums triple in just 3 years. Others have been dropped entirely by their insurer, forced to scramble for new coverage at double or triple the price. Imagine paying $10,000 a year just for homeowners insurance, before you even touch your mortgage. For many families and retirees, that's just not sustainable. And it's not just random bad luck. Insurers are pulling out of the state altogether, scared off by repeated hurricane losses, rising sea levels, and the growing risk of coastal flooding. Even a mild storm can cause millions in damages. And companies simply don't want to take the risk anymore. So what do Floridians do? They start packing. They head to Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, even Alabama. Anywhere that feels more stable, more affordable, more predictable. The dream of South Florida is still beautiful, but it's become a dream fewer people can afford to live in. Now, let's talk about what might be the biggest ticking time bomb in South Florida right now: the condo market. For years, condos were the backbone of the South Florida skyline. From Miami Beach to Fort Lauderdale, from Sunny Isles to West Palm, they represented the ultimate dream. A place in paradise, overlooking the ocean, with palm trees below and sunsets on the balcony. But now, that dream is cracking, literally and financially. After the tragic Surfside condo collapse in 2021, everything changed. The state passed new laws to make sure it would never happen again. Stricter inspections, mandatory reserve funds, and huge new repair requirements for older buildings. All of it well-intentioned, but incredibly expensive. Condo associations now have to conduct deep structural inspections every 10 years. And if they find problems, even small ones, they have to fix them. No more delaying, no more patching over issues. That means massive repair projects, and even bigger bills. Residents who once paid $500 a month in condo fees are now paying $1,500, sometimes more. Special assessments, one-time repair bills, can reach $20,000, $50,000, even $100,000 per unit. And for many retirees living on fixed incomes, that's a disaster. Some are being forced to sell their condos because they can't afford the repairs. Others are watching the market collapse as buyers flee. Who wants to buy into a building facing $10 million in mandatory repairs? Or one that can't even get insurance coverage anymore? Lenders are pulling back too. Banks are refusing to finance certain condo buildings, calling them high risk. That makes it nearly impossible for new buyers to get mortgages. So listings pile up. Prices drop. And the once glittering condo market that defined Miami's skyline is suddenly flooded with unsold units. It's not just an economic problem. It's emotional. For thousands of Floridians, those condos were their home, their savings, their peace of mind. Now, they're a source of fear and financial stress. Governor Ron DeSantis has had enough. He's angry, and not just politically. He's furious because thousands of condo owners are being hit with bills they can't afford. He's furious because many of those people are seniors who spent their lives building a home in paradise, and now feel like they're being pushed out. The Surfside laws were meant to protect lives, and they did. But they also created a ripple effect that no one saw coming. The governor has called on lawmakers to find a solution. He wants flexibility. He wants time. He wants relief for the people caught in the middle. He's also worried about the economy. Florida's housing boom helped drive the state's recovery after the pandemic. But if confidence in that market collapses, it could shake Florida's financial foundation. He's watching as developers pause projects, as foreign buyers hesitate, as the luxury market cools, and as headlines across the country paint a troubling picture of Florida's paradise under pressure. Behind closed doors, there's tension in Tallahassee. DeSantis wants reform, but lawmakers are divided. Developers want fewer restrictions. Homeowners want help. And insurers? They just want out. The governor's anger isn't just about money, it's about the image of Florida itself. Because for decades, "Move to Florida" was the slogan of freedom and opportunity. Now, it's starting to sound like a warning. If you step back, you can see the bigger picture forming. South Florida is facing challenges from every direction: economic, environmental, and emotional. The same ocean that makes this place magical is becoming its biggest threat. Rising tides, stronger hurricanes, flooded streets in neighborhoods that never used to flood, and insurance companies that see nothing but red flags. Infrastructure is straining under the pressure of rapid growth. Thousands move in every year, and thousands move out. It's a constant churn. The price of paradise has never been higher, and fewer people are willing to pay it. But here's the twist: some are still coming. High-income buyers, remote workers, investors. They're snapping up luxury properties while middle-class families are priced out. And that's changing the face of South Florida itself. The local, tight-knit communities that defined Miami, Hollywood, and Fort Lauderdale are slowly disappearing, replaced by seasonal residents, empty condos, and gated enclaves. For many long-time Floridians, it doesn't feel like home anymore. It feels like a resort they can't afford to stay in. So, why are people leaving South Florida? It's not just the weather, the politics, or the price. It's the pressure. The financial pressure. The emotional pressure. The uncertainty of not knowing what the next hurricane season will bring, or whether your condo will be condemned before it's paid off. The Sunshine State still shines, but the glare is getting harder to ignore. The governor's anger is real. Homeowners' fear is real. And the cracks in South Florida's paradise, they're real too. This isn't the end of Florida's story. But it is a wake-up call. A reminder that paradise isn't just about palm trees and sunsets. It's about stability, community, and security. And right now, those things are slipping through Florida's fingers like sand on the shore. Because in the end, no matter how bright the sun shines, No one wants to live in a paradise they can no longer afford to call home.